What's up, guys? How long have you been fighting with your sin nature? How long have you been fighting with your flesh? As a Christian, if you've got a few decades under your belt, you may be thinking like, is it always going to be so horrible and so stressful to do the things of the Lord? You see, God calls us, and He calls us very gently, and He says, hey, I want you to be obedient in this area. And then you know how it goes. We have these up periods and we have these down periods in our life. There's times when our flesh is stronger. There's times when our flesh is weaker. But this is like a cyclical battle that goes around and around and around. And you think to yourself, am I always just going to fail? Am I always just going to be so terrible of a believer? Well, I want to encourage you with Philippians 2:13, where Paul tells us, he says, God is at work in you. Now we know this. We see God's at work in our life, and we think that God keeps calling me to the work I'm supposed to do, but I just can't quite do it. I just never do it. But Paul tells us something precisely in this passage, and this should encourage you greatly. It says God is not just calling you. He's not just working in your life, but He's actually working on your character. You see, in this passage, it says that God is working in you to will and to work for Him. You see, God is not just calling you to obedience. God is actually calling your character to Himself. Bit by bit, day by day, He is shaping and transforming your character where your personal will want to serve the Lord. So take hope, my Christian brother. Take hope, my Christian sister, that one of these days, that when God gets through working on that part of you, you will actually wish and want to do the will of God.